everyone, my name is Adriana Callie, and this is my Engaging with Influencers assignment for Module 3. The first influencer I have is Ron Sella. He is a strategic business consultant. He is also the inbound marketing manager at PageWiz, and he's also a blogger at his personal website, ronsella.com. He has a presence on multiple social media platforms, including Google+, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest, and then, of course, his own personal website. And he shows a definite passion for online marketing. It's really clear that he loves to do what he does. So the platforms that I would engage with Ron Sella on would be Google+, because he updates that more frequently than he does all of his other platforms. And he shows more of his personality rather than just content that has to deal with business. So it shows that he actually is a real person outside of his business personality. Also, he varies his content more on Google+. Most of his content that he puts out right now is the same on all of his platforms. But on Google+, he adds in a little bit more, showing that he spends more time on there. And then I would also engage with him on Pinterest. His Pinterest account is very organized, which I like, and I can take and learn what I want from all of his different boards. If I was to begin a conversation with Ron Sella for Google+, I would add him to my circles, just so he figures out who I am. I'd leave him a comment on something that he's posted to acknowledge that I read it, or I'd request a Google Hangout, which may be a bit pushing it because he does lead a very busy lifestyle and he is a businessman and he has nearly millions of followers, so the chances that he would actually have a Google Hangout with me are slim to none, but I could still try. If I was to begin a conversation on Pinterest, I'd of course start by following his boards or a specific board that I found most interesting. I'd comment on a pin that he created himself rather than one that he just pinned, or I could repin content that he has also pinned or created. Or, for bonus points, I could send one of my pins through Twitter when I go to repin it and tag him in it and add a little message. Just as an example, out of one of my 5 posts, if I was to actually start a conversation, I would, this is for Google+, on a content article that he recently added called 5 Tips to Build Meaningful Social Media Connections. I would write, this article is of much use to everyone managing an online presence for a business. Which tip was your favorite? So I'm trying to get an insight on what he actually took from that article while also trying to get him to respond to me. And for encouraging engagement with his community, I would say that he already succeeds well at responding to his Google+ and Twitter followings, and his Pinterest is very well done too. However, his Facebook really needs assistance. It's the least active out of all of his platforms. So some things that he should probably work on are responding to those people who share or comment on content that he's posted, just to acknowledge them and to make sure that it looks like he's actually interested in what people have to say, and vary up the content that he posts. Again, most of his content is sent to all of his platforms through one shot, so it's all kind of the same. So if he could change it up a little bit, what's working for all of the other audiences might not necessarily be working for the Facebook audience, so he could try and figure out what they're really looking for and what they want to see. He could also give his Facebook page a voice. It kind of just comes off as a robot, which you don't really want to do in social media because people aren't going to want to interact with the robot. They want to interact with someone who has a personality. And because his personality shows so much better on his other platforms, I think he might need to work a little harder on his Facebook account. Or he can just ask the audience what they want to see, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, engage with your audience, and figure out what kind of content they're looking for at the same time. My second influencer is Lani Vavoid. She is a social storyteller, a public speaker, and is also the CEO of Epiphanies Incorporated. She is extremely active on social media, including but not limited to Google+, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Vine. She also has her personal website and her company website, and she just shows that her career is her life, and her life is her career. She just loves what she does every minute of the day, and she wants to tell everyone about it. Some platforms that I would engage with Lonnie on would be Twitter. She has connected her Twitter to each of her accounts, her personal and her business. Google+, she shares her business content through her personal account while remaining active on both and still sharing different content on each, which is good. And her Facebook, she shows more of her personality and she uses it more for her personal, but she still maintains a presence in her business and showing off her career. If I was to begin a conversation with Lonnie on Google+, I would first add her personal account to my circles, showing that I want to get to know her and then get to know her business. I would share content with her that may be of her interest based off of content that I've seen her post before, or I could request a hangout. Again, I know she's a very busy lady, but I could still try. On Twitter, I would of course start by following her, maybe retweet or quote something she says and add a message about what I thought of it or ask her a question. I could tweet her with content she might enjoy or just see how she's doing, how a recent event went, how her business is doing. Or use a hashtag that she has created. She is very big on hashtags, especially with her company Epiphanies Incorporated. So showing that I was paying attention to what she has going on in her business and use a hashtag would really show that I'm interested and I want to make her happy. And here's a second example post that I would do if I was trying to start a conversation. This one's for Twitter. I would write, "Glad to see you're still just as passionate about your job as you were when I saw you at the Social Media Summit at SNU." I did, in fact, see her at a social media summit at Southern New Hampshire University, where she did get to talk about her company and social media practices, so I can make that connection with her that I was there and we shared an experience. Here's a third example post, and this one's for Google+. She posted about Improv Everywhere, and she put a YouTube link of a skit that they did. So I would comment back that I liked it, saying, "This is awesome. Have you seen the Improv Everywhere skit called the No Pants Subway Ride?" So I'd show her something that I've seen that I know she would like because she just posted about this same exact group of people. So trying to start a conversation with a commonality, something that we both like. And if I was to encourage engagement with her community, I'd say that she already does a really great job at keeping up with content for all of her platforms, but I think she should talk to more people that she doesn't know yet. She always tags in a few different people, but they're always incorporated. They're always somewhere on her page, and it doesn't really seem that she's trying to reach out to other people. I think she's very comfortable with her friends, and she has a really good relationship, which is good, but I think she needs to find some new friends and make connections, especially on her Google Plus account. And influencer number 3, Dan Amrich. He is a video game enthusiast and author of Critical Path, How to Review Video Games for a Living. He is moderately active on social media. He has a Facebook, a Twitter, and a LinkedIn, and also a Twitch account, which you may or may not have heard of before. It's a platform for live streaming video games or other things. He is basically an average social media video gamer. He's not your average influencer. He's really laid back, and I don't think he really understands how to utilize social media. But he's fairly new to the game, so we're going to give him a chance. Platforms that I would engage with Dan Amrich on would be Twitter. He uses his personal account as his professional account, and it's updated the most frequently. Plus, he has it connected to his other platforms, including his Twitch account. And I would engage with him on Facebook. He doesn't really have a large following. It's about 300 people. But he does update his Facebook profile. He's, again, very laid back, but that encourages engagement with his followers. It's not really intimidating to think that he's this big celebrity because he doesn't really act that way. So it makes his followers want to talk to him knowing that he's someone they can relate to. And if I was to begin a conversation on Twitter, I'd start by following him, retweet and quote something that he says, or tweet in regards to his Twitch activity. On Facebook, I'd follow him, maybe ask him about his book or what inspired him to write it, why he loves what he does. I'd share content on his wall that I think he might appreciate, or share content with my friends that he has created himself. And here's another example post. This one's for Twitter. I would write, "My boyfriend," and tag my boyfriend, "is currently live streaming Watch Dogs through Twitch. Have you played it yet?" So trying to show him that we have a common interest and getting his opinion on something that he enjoys. And for another and final Facebook example post, this one is me sharing content that he had on his Facebook timeline. And I wrote, "That is insane. Jesse Lucatino, have you seen this?" So I tagged one of my friends. And I wrote, "I think we should definitely pay more attention to this guy, Dan Amrich." So tagging his name and showing that I'm trying to share his profile with my friends and showing that something he posted would be of interest to people that I know. And encouraging engagement with the community, I would say he needs to spend more time reaching out to people who share similar interests. And don't be shy. It's not going to be weird. It's like networking, but it's online. You just gotta figure out who to talk to. And search for people to follow on Twitter, to have conversations with, and to gain awareness. Again, just finding more people to gain a larger following and to show people who you are and that you're out there. And to utilize his following on Twitch and get those users to follow him on his other platforms. So bringing his large following on Twitch and encouraging them to interact with him on other platforms as well.